Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to Face It with Dr. G. I'm Dr. G, and we are going to continue our discussion of skincare through the decades. And we are going to go into the 40s, which I love the 40s selfishly because I'm living them and they're awesome. And I personally have never had such amazing skin, and there are so many reasons why. And I want all of you listening to not be discouraged. Maybe you listened to the previous podcast or watched on YouTube and you're like, oh no, I'm not doing any of this. My skin is falling apart. There is hope for you. We can get you all straightened out and get you the best skin of your life. So it really comes through education. So in your 40s, there are a couple other things to think about. And as we talked about last episode, you always want to have on board, especially now, is your sunscreen and your retinol to help prevent collagen breakdown, prevent that UV damage and pigment discoloration, obviously prevent skin cancers. And then you want your retinol to gently help formation of new collagen. So those are no-brainers and non-negotiables. But the biggest thing and the biggest change we see in our 40s is hydration. And this continues to decline as we get into the 50s and 60s. So how do we fortify our skin? Because we are losing not only collagen, but we're losing significant amounts of hyaluronic acid at this stage. And these components, so collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid, those are the supportive matrix of our dermis. Those are what make that dermis thick and plump and fluffy looking on top. And when we start to lose hyaluronic acid, not only does the dermis get thinner, but when we also then damage our collagen and elastin from UV rays, it becomes fibrotic, and it's called solar elastosis. So solar from the sun, and elastosis meaning abnormal elastic fibers that are thickened and hardened and contracted and constricted. So that's when you start to see thin paper-like skin. It becomes more transparent, especially around the eyes. It also, when you get thin dermis, you start to see fine lines and wrinkles. It affects our retinaculum cutis, which is a whole other animal, different network in our skin. So how do we prevent that? We prevent that with retinol, sunscreen, and hydration. So how do we get that hydration? And also, how do we keep that hydration in our skin and prevent transepidermal evaporation or loss? So a couple things. We need to fortify our skin barrier like we always do, prevent the cracking and the degradation, which can happen with over drying, with our cleansers also, but something that's a beautiful cream. A lot of people swear by things like Aquaphor and Vaseline, which are very neutral. They're great, but they're also very heavy. So I'm not one to want to walk around with Vaseline all over my face every single day. I do have patients that do it and they love it, but it's not typical. So how do we find a cream that's both effective and not too thick and suffocating? So ingredients like ceramides, lipids, really nice glycerin ingredients can help with keeping that moisture into the skin, but also understanding that creams are emollients, so they stay on the top of the skin. If you think about fish scales under a microscope, this cream will just soften the edges of those scales, and it doesn't penetrate deeper. So it looks beautiful on the surface, but if you're using the wrong cream, you'll then feel dry a couple hours later. And if the deeper layers of your skin are not hydrated appropriately, you'll also feel dry. So using a serum before your cream is really, really important. Something with hyaluronic acid in it, potentially and hopefully with niacinamide as well. So putting that on first, then covering with a cream is ideal. You can even do 2 layers of cream if you want. I do that as well. Then at nighttime, you're going to use your retinol product, and in the morning, you're going to use your sunscreen, okay? But another important ingredient that I've found has transformed my patient's skin in their 40s and beyond is a specific type of oil. And this is a dry oil. So not an oil such as coconut oil that essentially is very comedogenic. It's very heavy. It's great for the body, but not for the face. It can cause acne, it can cause blackheads, and it can cause irritation. So I highly discourage coconut oil. It is good for your hair though. But for your face, we have a beautiful product that's sunflower seed based, and there are others on the market. Safflower oil is so incredibly powerful. The seeds have the most oil concentration of any seed out there. And we gently extract that oil and create a nourishing product that can be used morning or night. And you think of it as the saran wrap. So once you're placing all these products on your skin, the cream helps keep everything in, but the oil will then lock it in even more. And you'll notice it immediately the day after. I like to start patients using this at night because it can feel a little bit heavy at first, but it's not at all heavy. I shouldn't even use that word, but it's different. If you haven't had an oil on your face, it feels a little bit different. So in the morning, it may be interesting to use. I have a lot of patients that will put sunscreen on and then an oil right after it, this oil, because it gives this dewy, beautiful look, almost comparable to the Ilia foundation. And it's awesome, but there's no foundation and you're just protecting yourself all the way around. So at nighttime, you can use the oil. Men love it so much so because I don't know, it's their like secret sauce and it feels great and it smells great and it's awesome. But we have other ingredients that are in that oil are oleic and linoleic acids that are amazing for anti-inflammatory benefits, antibacterial properties. So this oil actually helps extract the dirt and the debris and grime from your pores versus the opposite, which clog. So it's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, super nourishing, locks all that moisture in, because as you know, you can develop acne during perimenopause, menopause in your late 40s. It can be super, super frustrating. So a lot of people think oils are a no-go. That's actually wrong. It's not correct. You have to look at the actual type of oil that you're looking to put on your face. So I hope that helps. 40s, this was super short and sweet, but if you go back to the other episode, it'll give you a lot of other information that got me to the 40s. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. If you have any questions, reach out. I love to hear from you guys. I love to hear that you're learning so much from these episodes. We've been doing great with being very on time. We are predictable, I hope. We've only missed a couple weeks in there and we continue to do the same. Head over to Patreon if you're an injector and want more advanced education in a subscription format. And I can't wait to see you guys soon.